Hi everyone, welcome to a special Skype composition with artist and activist Ai Weiwei, whose most recent project, specially designed masks, are for sale on eBay to raise money for organizations doing work in the global pandemic, including Human Rights Watch, Doctors Without Borders, and Refugees International. Weiwei, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited for this opportunity to finally speak with you. Before we get into the masks, a personal question first. Ai 老师, you gained prominence when you broke through the Chinese government's cover-up to investigate and commemorate the thousands of children who died during the 2008 Sichuan earthquake. For your activism, you got harassed, detained, beaten by the police. At the time, 11 years ago, I was a college student in China, and I emailed you and asked, do you want to volunteer? You responded immediately, come. But then several days later, I emailed you again and I said, 艾老师, sorry, I can't come. My parents forbid me. You said, listen to your parents. They do that for your own good. Apparently, I didn't listen to my parents because I now work for Human Rights Watch. 艾老师, you're one of the many people that influenced me and many Chinese of my generation to have ideas of freedom and rights and to challenge power with defiance. But human rights in China have gone worse and worse in the past decade. Some of those that have followed you, worked with you, argued with you are now in jail. You are in Europe and I'm in the US. So my question is, what do you say to us, Chinese outside and inside, who wanted to carry on the activism, the fighting spirit that you inspired us to have, given the extraordinary repression under President Xi Jinping?
I think it's an extremely difficult moment. First, I congratulate you to become a fighter in this most valuable and most important act any individual can take in their lifetime. So I think to defend those very basic rights and human dignity, it's a holy act. That means we are respect the most important possibilities of being as a human, and respect human rights and respect the others. So this is a not easy fight, especially in China. In the West, it's okay. You can express your opinion. You can demonstrate. You can use art or use writing or use to give out the opinions or to be as freely associated with other people, and even to have your belief or religion. But in China, everything is forbidden. There's no freedom of speech. There's no, not even to say freedom of speech. Just put a single note on internet or even repaste some information. You can be locked up. And also, a friend of mine, a lawyer, Pu Zhiqiang, was sentenced for years just because 20 of his tweets. So you can see the authority is very brutal, and at the same time, they are ruthless. There's no independent judicial system. So there's no justice simply in that society. And any young people want to devote themselves really should be very careful. You have to be careful. It's not because the system, it can be very crude, but also because you don't want your belief to be hurt. You want to protect that little candle. The fire is not going to be blow off by this storm. So I think this is very difficult. You see NGOs or people defending women's right or workers' right, they immediately being taken away, disappeared. their voice can never be heard again. So for past decades, repeatedly, when anybody want to have a voice, any single individuals will be put away. Then the lesson is very clear. So nobody would even touch any issues because they know the result is very clear. So I think keep your belief, protect your belief. That's most precious of life. Not let anybody to change it or to touch it, but same times has to be very careful.
Okay, now let's talk about the masks. The face mask has kind of become a symbol of this global pandemic. Can you tell us a little more about this project? What inspired you? Why did you choose to partner with Human Rights Watch? I mean, we're not known for our artistic skills.
First, I was very bored. As anybody else, you feel so many things being stopped. But as artist, I'm very used to with this kind of difficult feelings or in this kind of traumatized situation. So I would say that that kind of moment requires a special spiritual effort. And that's the moment calling me to do something. So I would like to do very small thing to put, first I have a skill. Second, mask has been a topic all over, in every media and in everyone's life, So such a ironic small object with little skill can can share a different light. And I put this on Instagram. Immediate people say, I want to get it, how to get it. So I immediately think about people in desperate situation. The people in refugee camps, which I have been paying attention for some time. And those people are living under very very harsh health environment. Children, women, elderly people, very crowded, not have essential protections. So I thought it would be a good idea to raise the money for them. And the only organization I know is Human Rights Watch. I've been working with Human Rights Watch in the late 80s in New York City. And I know them. I am very respected their work. I think it's very they have integrity, and they are very I think they have a very good judgment and a very good position in dealing with this very difficult time. So I select three different organizations: Doctor Without Border, Refugee International. All those institutions, I trust them. I think you have to give money to the company you trust, and to set up a long time relations with those people, to identify with their values, to show them someone care, and that care can become a sweet and a warm for those people who in very desperate situation.
So thank you so much for the compliment on Human Rights Watch. In many parts of the world, we are being ordered to stay at home, not to socialize, not to go to school, to meet our friends. So we all feel a sense of isolation. You were saying, you got bored. So the face mask is a symbol of solidarity, that we are all in this together. The simple surgical mask is less about protecting myself, more about protecting others right from getting the virus from me if I have it. How does your work reflect this moment of solidarity?
I think as individual, we are all alone, but at the same time, we need to share the same value and to support each other. And the art is a very useful tool, and to do that, to share our consciousness, our emotions, and our beliefs. So I think the solidarity is very important in crisis, and we have to be united to dealing with those large issues.
You're watching a conversation with artist Ai Weiwei, who is selling specially designed masks on eBay to raise money for organizations doing work in the global pandemic, including HRW, Doctors Without Borders, and Refugees International. I will close with one last question. So, what gave you hope right now, given everything that is going on?
I think the only hope we would have is about humanity. We have to trust human have enough conscious and good conscience and to have this kind of intelligence to overcome. And for too long, we are not really look or examine our own behavior, and that made all those crises happens around us. And we should bear responsibility. We should say, this is a mistake. We need to correct it only because for our continue our human, for generations to come, we have to just do the right thing and to trust humanity.
Thank you so much for joining us today, for supporting Human Rights Watch's mission, and for sharing his important work at such a critical moment. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.